Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sith Dominion podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Dana Martin, and tonight we have a panel of guests, and the panel is so exquisite. This is something you would see at a con. I don't know what kind of con artist would be gathering such people, but we have Stephanie, we have David, Darth Zane, and we have the actual Zane joining us after a little bit of a hiatus. Thank you all for being here. This is going to be so fun. So let's catch up a little bit before we get started on Revan, which is why everyone's here. What have you guys been up to? Let's start with you, Darth Zane, David. What have you been up to? I know last night you had the Cantina hat, or not? That's tomorrow.
MCU Mondays.
MCU Monday, and y'all busted out Loki episode 1.
Loki episode 1. We just finished last Thursday. We finished Ahsoka on the Cantina Happy Hour. We're moving on to Mando season 2 now. Since we haven't covered that one yet, I'm kind of kicking around the idea of taking off for December, just kind of because that's all holidays and all kinds of stuff going on. Plus, I'm human and I'm tired and I need my brain to kind of go.
Well, I mean, there's at least 2 good holiday special episodes you could, base 2 good shows off of.
You've got that, and then I'm doing live Lego builds all through. All through December, we're doing live builds because I'm doing the Advent calendar, so that's a daily build every day. So
how are those fingers?
I'm fine. I'm good. Callus, Darth Callus.
Oh my goodness! Thank you, Debbie. What have you been up to besides hanging out with that fool from time to time?
Yeah. This will make 3 times this week. Hanging out with Dave. Lord have mercy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Merry Christmas.
Count yourself blessed.
Other than that, it's just work. As everybody knows, I'm a hermit. I don't go anywhere. Work, grocery store. Occasionally down to my kid's house. That's it.
Nothing more, nothing less.
That's right.
Not 12:02. Not no Friday. Zane, you. Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I gotta throw this out. I will be busy Saturday watching this fool play in the pit for Texas State. I hope that's coffee or water.
It's coffee.
Yeah. What have you been up to besides running crazy? You've had gigs. Yeah, I don't even know if you've even stepped into the Overwatch League this year. What you got going on?
I mean, other than classes and everything, which is so boring, no one cares about those, right? I mean, other than like doing your work, but that's not interesting.
You playing in the college band?
Yes, I'm actually in the marching band. I play drum set.
What? Say that again?
I play drum set.
Okay. Luke plays in the high school band. So we get to go to Friday night lights and then Saturday morning competitions, which is wearing on me.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
4 years of it. But other than that, I mean, I have a few gigs lined up. A couple of things I'm not allowed to say about them.
Oh,
but
I want you to talk now. Yeah.
Ooh. So I love it whenever I can get the notice that you're at the Little Longhorn Saloon, because that means I'm making dinner or snacks and just put it on you on Twitch, and watch my son play some music, which is really cool. That's awesome, Zane. You did someone make a chat? No. So the question, I guess, is for everyone. We are all so busy, and Ahsoka has kind of ended. On a Star Wars note, I know, Dave, you mentioned touching on Mandalorian season 2, but kind of what do you do like when the wind kind of leaves you after like Mandalorian ends? You got this gap in this space. What do you fill it with?
Personally?
Yeah.
Well, silly question. No, well, I mean, there's always something new coming out with the comic books. If it looks good, then I'll snag it. Like I got the Bounty Hunter, which was 16 or 20 issues.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was great just in and of itself because it was like, okay, we're buying a book every other week or so, kind of like what we did in the old days when we had the death of Superman happening, and you could only go out and buy one issue a week, and you had to, and it was like watching a TV show. You couldn't just get all of it at once. So that's been you fill it with that. Legos. I watched the movies like over and over and over again. I need to watch Solo. I haven't watched that one in a few minutes. No, you hush. It's the most underrated Star Wars movie.
No, it is amazing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were being negative Nancy about it.
The guy who plays Lando, I love him.
Oh, he's great.
Glover, yeah.
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
So, is there rumor that there's going to be an extension of that in that piece of the universe with Donald Glover?
Rumors.
I've heard that there were in talks, but nothing's confirmed yet that I'm aware of. I heard that Billy D was also going to be a part of it, which would have been, almost like here's what's happening now, and then we're going to flash back to this, and then kind of a back and forth. Andrew's on.
What's up?
No, I did not get anything cool for Prime Day. I'm a very boring person.
Oh, I'm stoked.
My wife does the Prime thing, not me. So
I'm totally hooked on I got a curved monitor for work, and now I'm like, I have like this bank of like 3 ginormous, and I'm like, this is obscene. And the curved monitor, man, it's where it's at. Prime Day. Wait,
Prime Day's amazing.
Do we have a link for that? No. Okay.
Oh.
Debbie, what do you feel? Well, I mean, you've got a list of folks in your harem, so I'm sure you can just select anything else to go to.
Where's the picture? Do you have the picture?
I don't. I need the picture.
Oh,
I know, right?
I need to make a new one. I keep saying that, and I haven't done it. But yeah, yeah. Once things are over with, I just go back, rewatch my favorite Marvel movies and DC movies. And I do plan on doing a rewatch on some of the Marvel TV series, especially Falcon and Winter Soldier, because I haven't, I love Bucky. But yeah, that Star Wars, it's pretty much all I do. I read Star Wars books. So, like I said, I'm a hermit. I don't go anywhere or do anything. So,
Zane, what do you fill that time with on a Star Wars note?
On a Star Wars note, so nothing else Star Wars wise. I'll rewatch Rebels because I love it. I have reread the original Thrawn trilogy about 3 or 4 times now, as well as the new timeline one. I love them both. Other than that, I mean, Star Wars wise, I really don't. I'm kind of preoccupied watching anime. I've been getting into One Piece, and that's
is that just because the movie came out?
No, that's because my roommate is like forced me into watching it. But it's good. It's really good.
Okay.
You're like, whatever.
Hi, Biscardi.
Hey, John. Woo!
Dude, yeah, moonlighting on this is totally not Star Wars.
Bruce Willis and what was her name?
Sybil Shepherd.
Sybil Shepherd, yes.
Yeah. Dude, that's
yes.
Yeah, 100%. There is I'm gonna put this in the chat. So we're gonna hit this. Is it going? I don't know if a link will go. There it goes. And I'll share my screen too. So our partner affiliate here, Ripped Apparel. If you click that link, I have a Merry Christmas Sithy hoodie. That if you click this, you'll get that little tiny discount. Is it not sharing? Of course it's not.
No, I got it. Yep, there it is.
I clicked it.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'll screen share it to you just so everyone out there
Mary
can see.
Sithmas.
Like, oh my God, of course, Mary Sithmas. And my son knows I hate these sweaters and I hate wearing them, but I do because everyone Dana, Star Wars is funny.
That's not a hoodie. That's a jacket. It's a zip jacket.
It's got a zipper.
That makes it even better.
That's not a hot dog. Is a sandwich. Wait,
what? I would wear that.
I would wear that because the hoodies are fine.
Hot dog is a sandwich.
The hoodies are fine. They're all well and good, but when you get into like okay, I'm outside and it's cold. I'm gonna go inside, and then now I'm hot and I want to take my hoodie off, but I gotta pull everything off, and then the hair. You mess up the hair. You pull your shirt up, not meaning to,
or
nobody needs to
don't for 2 years.
Oh yeah, totally.
Keep it on.
Yeah, that was pretty. Empire Strikes Back is a Christmas movie.
No, Die Hard was a Christmas movie.
As much as Narnia is.
Yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
So is Iron Man 3. It takes place at Christmas time.
I did add that to my Christmas movie list. Iron Man 3. Oh, Die Hard and Iron Man 3, and there's some other ones in there.
They have a
Die Hard 2.
I have a new way. Apparently, I got some feedback that I don't do transitions into segments well.
Okay.
So this is a transition into a segment for those of you keeping score at home.
Woo, very trendy.
We're moving into HoloNet highlights now. Wow, that was country. Where the hell did that come from?
Yeah,
in Texas.
You got a problem with that right there?
Oh my goodness. We're going to talk a little about Ahsoka in the finale because Baylan Skull, which I did an article about. I'm actually in the middle of a Kylo Ren, Ben Solo patricide article. It's freaking awesome. I can't wait to push that out. But Baylan, shameless plug, Baylan, which we talked a little bit about in every episode, I think. At the end of Ahsoka, if you haven't watched the final episode, the finale, just mute.
If you haven't watched it, what's wrong with you?
Live action's on.
Wow. It was amazing. And at the very end, there's this scene with Baylan looking out. I don't have the picture. And they show this kind of ginormous statue-ish into the mountain. Just
Argonaut. It's the Argonaut.
First thing that popped into my head was it's the daddy and the kids, which we totally talked about on December 5th, the Darth Treya episode. I don't remember what episode number. It's like 9 or whatever. And Debbie was like, kind of think this is what's gonna happen. I swear, were you in the writer's room, Debbie? Because you called it perfect. Just what led you to that anyways?
She's just smart.
It's like, I don't know, man. It just
the one occasion I was actually smart.
she's been calling Mephisto since WandaVision, so eventually she's got to get one right.
I'm gonna get I'm gonna be right.
Mephisto it'll happen once, but
no, I mean honestly, it was amazing. I was like, that's exactly what that is. Zane, what did you think when you saw? Oh, wait, I hope you saw that. I didn't even ask.
No, I did. It has my favorite character in live action. Of course, I'm going to watch it.
Who?
Thrawn. You should know that. Anyways, I thought it was.
I knew that.
Exactly. This guy.
I'm paying attention.
I thought it was crazy because not only did it show it didn't show the sister, it just showed the daughter. It showed the father and the son. Where the sister was gone, and I don't know.
Her head was gone. Her body was there,
but they were. It just seems like they were hinting at it the whole show with the few episodes before. With I don't remember what the owl's name is.
Morai,
because Morai was there as well, and that I know she was really connected with Ahsoka, so it'd be interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting point too about the head, at least, of the sister being gone. I don't know if that's. Do you guys think that they may have had some more planned for Baylan and that story arc, or do you think that they were intentionally leaving it that way? The death was just a coincidence.
I think they had already finished
I think they had
filming when he passed away, because there was an interview with him on some red carpet. I don't know if it was like a premiere or whatever, but they were asking him about his character, and they were always trying to get, well, do you know where your character's going? Blah blah blah. And he was like, he goes, it's such a great character. He goes, but I don't even know where they're going with it.
That'd be Abeloth.
And see, I've said that too. I think I said that in one of our Cantina shows or something.
I think it was the finale, the Ahsoka finale.
Yeah, because she was originally the mother until she got banished.
Mm-hmm. That's a great piece of story too, just storytelling within the Clone War, that arc within Clone Wars. I remember being very captivated by it, and then seeing it really took me back to, God dang it, dude. I mean, and this is the Lucas way of kind of tying everything back and forth. And I think Filoni's been very intentional on a lot of this, and I wonder, and maybe this is out there, does he have himself a little tiny continuity stat, on the side that helps him?
Honestly, I'm gonna say he might, but and we mentioned this probably last week in the Canteen Happy Hour. There was an interview with Sam Witwer where they were doing a what was it? They were having a table read, I guess, for the Clone Wars, and he was there, and they were going to do this one scene where Anakin and Padme saw. He had a dream where he introduced Padme to his mother and said, this is my mother, this is the girl that I'm in love with, blah blah blah, and basically it was going to be, and it was just like this real heart touching scene, and Sam Witwer's in the back going, she met Padme before in episode 1. They ate together. They stayed in the same house. They watched a pod race together. They know each other. And Dave was like, and then Ashley Eckstein was like, I've never seen anybody outgeek Dave Filoni.
That's fantastic.
So tentatively, maybe, but we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes.
So the question becomes, there's definitely more story there. Is it going to be story told via novelization, or is it going to be some spur of Baylan recasted?
I know Debbie is all about recasting Baylan. I still think it's going to be a hard sell for me to recast him. I mean, I'm not going to argue with them if they recast them, but you're really going to have to, whoever gets the role is really going to have to sell it and make me believe and say, okay, this was the right choice. This was good, because now we're doing what we need to do.
Yeah. He was very good at portraying what I didn't know what to expect, right? When we saw all the dark side, there's a new orangey, and they're not Jedi, they're not Sith, whatever. Speculation aside, he was just a badass portrayal of this character that was written really well. Also, I always got to go back to how the character was written, because I mean that's a part of it, and Filoni's done a hell of a job, I think, in that character development. And Ray did it, man. He killed it. That is got to be one of my new favorite Sithy dudes.
Dark side. Wait, no. What did?
Dark Jedi.
No,
False Jedi.
False Jedi. I think somebody called False Jedi.
That's cool.
Which is better than Gray Jedi. So.
Ugh, I hate that. Gray Jedi.
Oh no, it wasn't Thrawn. It was when they were at Hera's court martial thing, and gosh, what's his name? on the council. The puck monkey.
The douchebag.
Yeah.
Dang it. Yeah, that dude.
I can't think of his name.
Where he was like, meh. And then it's like, hey, Leia says, oh.
Jedi.
Okay,
false Jedi.
Zeno.
Oh, yeah.
It's Xiono. I can spell it, but I can't say it.
If they recast Dumbledore, then they can recast Balin. It's in the chat here.
That's what I said.
But I'm looking at it too, thinking if you're going to recast Dumbledore and you can recast Balin, why didn't they? And I might ruffle some feathers on this. Why didn't they recast Chadwick Boseman for Black Panther?
Because there would have been an uproar.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm kind of in that same boat with Ray Stevenson, where I'm like, it's going to be hard.
After years have went by, though, a lot of people are now saying they should have recast.
Well, yeah, after they saw Wakanda Forever, they're like, "Oh yeah, we probably should have done that." That might have been a bad. That might have been a bad thing.
Boseman Forever. Yes. That's a great segue, you guys. You guys are great at this. All right, here comes the next.
Who the heck told you were bad at transitions?
Dark side.
Oh, because I never would say, and I would just kind of change the title. We just keep talking, and so I had some feedback.
We don't have that issue, Debbie. We go where the wind takes us.
Yeah, I don't see a need for transition.
But he has segments. See, I get it. Makes sense.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best. I just want to stay on the channel. No. So, I mean, no, I do. I mean, no, I'm not worried about losing a spot on the channel. So, Darth Revan, man. Okay. So, I can't believe that you made it, Zane. You were like, oh, I don't care what's going on in my life. Darth Revan is Darth Revan. But, I mean, I hope you're not missing out on an exam or something like that, man. What are you missing out on? I know. Can you even hear me?
Sorry, my Wi-Fi was cutting out.
Oh, okay. What are you missing out on to be on the show?
There you go. Try it again.
What are you missing out on the show?
You don't want to know, Dad.
I have an Overwatch tournament happening right now.
Oh man.
I'm missing my Overwatch tournament for this.
Dude. Aren't you Lucio God? I mean,
you're fine.
Wait, we have, is that where, not Cantina, what's the Geek Gauntlet talks about gaming and stuff, right? There you go. You got a collegiate esports Overwatch player right there for the Geek
Gauntlet. I have my
Gauntlet.
jersey somewhere behind me.
Oh, you got
your jersey? It's like legit, then not just I'm sitting around screwing around on my Xbox kind of thing. It's
yeah, no, I have a jersey somewhere.
Oh wow!
I also love watching him play because I've played with his buddies. Aqua's one of those. Agua's one of those. I think I played with that time. Only the one time. They only had me play the one time. But you know,
I can't do it. I'm not good enough. Here's the thing is I bought a PlayStation 4 when Battlefront came out. So PlayStation 4 had been out for a while. So yeah, I know. And I bought it because of Battlefront. And I got the limited edition Darth Vader PlayStation, which was cool. Of course, you got to get that. But then I get Battlefront and I'm like, I downloaded it and I'm getting ready to play it. And it's like, we're sorry, you can't play unless you have a PlayStation Plus account. And I'm like, wait a minute. So now I just dropped all of this money. And now you want me to pay even more for the privilege of playing your game? And so I was like, whatever. So that was in like November. And then at Christmas time, I got Christmas money. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy a year. I'm just going to get a year and we'll see what happens. And so I was able to play. And I had a buddy of mine who had been playing. We got on and we're like, okay, we're going to play this game. And we got into this group and we're we're fighting and everything. And the guys on our team on the group said, okay, here's this guy over here. Just stay away from him. Don't even go near him. Just stay away. Well, I don't remember what the game was, but I ended up running up behind this guy and I saw him and I was like, oh, there he is. And he doesn't see me. And I've got a great shot. And I pulled out this bazooka and shot him point blank in the friggin' head. And he turns around with a pistol and pops me once. And I was dead. And I was like, what the crap? And they said, this guy has been playing this game since it came out. He has everything. He's got all the skills and everything else. And I'm like, well, that just takes all the fun out of it.
And now you're stuck with a year subscription.
And now I'm stuck with a year subscription to PlayStation Plus.
Some one dude always buy a pistol. At least he didn't like pistol whip you.
Do you know how many Legos a 1 year subscription to the PlayStation Network would have bought me? A lot.
Goodness.
One or two.
Ooh, yeah. Sorry, we derailed quick on that. Darth
Revan. Sorry.
Speaking of gaming, no, great. I remember having my old Xbox, and KOTOR was just amazing. I thought.
I have them here.
Oh my god!
I PC'd.
I have it.
I have both of them here.
You have the ones that I have?
No, you didn't have KOTOR 1 by the time I got to them, but I have the second one that you had.
What do you mean I didn't have it?
I don't know. Remember, you just didn't have it because I got the first one for Christmas. Yeah.
Say this: they're on. If you go to GOG.com, they will sell you a copy for. Cheap. It's like a streaming copy. You don't even have to. It's not even a physical copy.
I think I got it on Android.
I think I have the first one on my phone.
Yeah,
and it
was wonky. I hated playing it on the phone.
Yeah, but
usually we didn't play that game for the wonkiness. We played that game
for the story.
The story. We played it for the ability to choose our own adventure. If you will.
And this was something completely new and different for Star Wars because this dealt with something that was not the Skywalker saga. Mm-hmm. This was like, this is, almost 4,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. So I think it was 3,900 and change, something like that, before the Battle of Yavin. So it's like, well, this is a completely new era. This is not going to have Yoda in it. This is not going to have any character that we know in it. This is going to be completely new, completely different. And I think that's what appealed to a lot of people.
And what? Hold on. Sorry, my stepson turned on his LED, and when he does that, it makes mine go into music mode. So every time I talk, it blinks at me. Okay, we're good. Sorry. So, yeah, and I think when they did that, in the universe, a new galaxy, if you will, it was. Man, they came out with a bang. I mean, the characters that they had, the story, the deep story, you'd want to play it multiple times because you wanted to see what might be different. And not only, it wasn't like, so if I made this decision, it's bad. You wouldn't even know for 2 hours later before your decision was bad. Which is perfect for a podcast like mine that talks about making decisions and how they impact things down the line for businesses.
Except for that one part in KOTOR 2 where the droid is trapped in the hut's storeroom and he's got to get out and you've got to know the code and you can't find the code anywhere. And it's like that was the only part I got to go online and find this code because I don't know. I've looked everywhere. I got nothing. I'm stuck.
You could always choose to let him die.
Well, yeah.
It was an option.
But so, what we saw characters, Revan, Malik, etc. We've talked about several of them already on this show. That you're right. We had never encountered characters quite like that before. And it wasn't real superficial. Oh, this is the bad guy. They made it really feel, is it bad? Is it good? What is he doing? Why is he doing it? And when you look at Revan, especially, I mean, come on, he was a badass, man. Destroyed one-on-one with Mandalore. All right, I'll step out. If you guys want to chat about that in and of itself.
He was well, he fought in the Mandalorian Wars. I mean, he was part of the we're seeing this a lot now with the Mandalorian TV show, where it's like, oh, these are the wizards that we fought against, many moons ago, kind of thing. And that was what that was that the Jedi were fighting the Mandalorians. So,
and Revan wasn't like he was trained well, but he had something in him that made him bigger and badder than all the other Jedi around him. And I said he took on Mandalore 1-on-1 and beat him. No one ever did that in all the history, thousands of years of Mandalore. Nothing had ever happened like that. So when he said during, fast forward, the Jedi Civil War, to say, all right, there's some BS happening here. Who's going to follow me? Well, you kind of took on Mandalore 1-on-1 and beat his ass. So I think I'll follow you. How does that impact you guys, though? Like, from a leadership perspective, when you look at someone like Revan, I'm sure you've had those folks in your life, whether it's been a boss or family member, someone you look up to that kind of stepped in, did some badassery, and you're like, oh, I'm totally going to follow. Like, that's what I'm looking for in a leader, in someone to follow.
The problem I have with that, and I've seen it from afar, and so in my personal life, I just don't. You book about Revan after
the Revan book.
I think I've got it, actually. I need to sit down and read that one, but I've seen it from afar, and so I try not to place too much into it. Yes, there can be somebody that is just completely, as you say, badassery, and you're just like, oh. But the problem is that person is going to do something that you're not going to like, that somebody's not going to like, or that's going to cause him to fall. And you've placed him on this pedestal at this point, and then he's fallen off of it, and you're like, but you were so cool. What happened? And so it's like I'm always like, yeah, you're cool now, but what are you going to be like in 20 years? 10 years from now, what are you going to do? So it's kind of a good example. Big Bang Theory, when they did when Howard and Raj made footprints on the moon, and they did the Facebook page, and they're like, oh, we've got the one follower, and he's a fan, and he said we rocked, and all this other stuff. And so they cyber stalked him and everything, and they ended up finding out where he was going for coffee, and they see him in the coffee shop picking his nose. They're like, oh, no. So it was like, it's something like that. It's like, oh, he's just so cool. He builds motorcycles and restores old cars, and he plays bass. Oh, he's awesome. He's the greatest guy. Oh my gosh, he's picking his nose.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. In history, we can see. I had an example here of JFK, but I think for a little bit different reason. He was very charismatic. He was certainly, people loved what he was saying and wanted to follow him. But he had his shortcomings too. And I think that there's a line, and maybe what is that line, right? Like, where do we look past the shortcomings of someone because they're human, they have their own desires and drive, but knowing that maybe for the better good, they can still make decisions that can benefit us as a whole. Like, where's that line in between one's personal morality and their business persona, so to speak? I mean, it's not rhetorical. We can talk about it. I mean, that's a tough one, though. I don't know where that line is.
The thing is with, when you look at someone and you look at their personal life versus their business life, if you like what they're doing in business, kind of thing. You're like, oh, this is my boss, and he's doing. But he goes home and he beats his kids and he cheats on his wife. You know, that you see that and you're like, that kind of carries over. And then you start looking at him at a different light in the work setting, and you're like, well, this is why this is happening for him. This is because he knows how to manipulate the system and get away with things. So,
yeah, and I think Revan is a good example of that. He had his plan, and he wanted things a certain way, but ultimately, I think we talk about it a lot, that power corrupts, and I think you got to be careful who you're putting in your sphere, because Malik and him were great buddies. We talked about it on the Malik show, and Revan ended up taking his jaw. But
he was talking back. What do you want?
I told him, dude, I just need this trash taken out. I didn't know it was that big of a deal. I take your jaw. You gonna talk back again? But to that point, right? Like, and still, even after taking his jaw, they were buddies and partners for a while. Like, I just can't imagine being in a situation with anyone. No matter how much I look up to him, even metaphorically taking my jaw, taking my speech, telling me to shut up, that I don't know what I'm talking about, just for maybe confronting them about a business decision that I disagree with. I know that I've had bosses that I could not have those discussions with. I would hope that you all have leaders that you can have those discussions with, and I'd love to hear a story about that. Anyone? Zane, you don't even have a job. I don't even know.
I get paid for doing stuff.
Oh, you don't? Not when you're digging holes in my house.
No, gigging.
Oh yeah, gigging.
Yeah, it's a job.
I mean, I can give you an example of I had a boss that kind of swooped in, really thought he had done a couple of great things in his past, and of which I appreciated, and was looking forward to his tenure at my organization. However, I soon realized there's a reason that this individual every 2 years was hopping around. Still giving it the old college try and doing my best, that individual I got out from underneath as soon as possible. So I think on the outside, when, getting it back to Revan and Malik was his best buddy, right? And then Malik beat him. And I think when we've talked about in the past shows about our sphere of people around us, being able to trust people, being able to have people support us, don't we still have to be a little careful about who?
Well, and really that, because you've got to think the Revan and Malik story, all of this predates even Bane with the rule of two, and in fact, Darth Bane kind of took from that, from what Revan and Malik had set up, and So yeah, you want to be careful who's in your sphere, because there's one to have the power and one to crave the power. So, and that was what was going on. I mean, that's what was happening. One had the power and one was craving it. So you either kill your master and you become the Sith Lord or the Sith Master, or your master stops you and kills you and gets another apprentice.
I mean, I would think that this is a safe space. So, I would absolutely say that even your boss, you got to keep close. And I say a safe space because I don't think my boss is watching. You got to keep your
Not
boss.
yet, anyway.
Not yet.
I'm gonna find him on Facebook and say, "Look what he's doing."
Just kidding. My boss, we get along great. But seriously, you need to be able to know who your master is within the realm of and scope of your org. But like, is your goal to usurp them? What's your goal? To learn from them, or to take them over? What in Malik's case, and in I think a lot of the Sith lore, it's just we hang out, we learn what we can, and then we kill them and become the master. I just don't know that in today's 2023 business landscape, that was the way we've seen Mad Men and these other show, Glengarry, Glenn Ross, all these older movies, man, that where people just kill each other to get a step ahead. I don't know that that's the way it is now.
I don't think it's that way. I think that's the way it is in the movies, but I think in real life it's more of all I have to do is outlast you. You have to retire. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You have to retire, but by that time, I've learned enough from you, and I've been kissing enough butt elsewhere that when you retire, I'm moving up into your job, and I will have your job. Not necessarily I'm going to kill you so that I can have your job, but I will have your job.
And I would think that Debbie is absolutely a Sith in this respect. You said butt kiss. I just can't imagine Debbie kissing anyone's rear to get ahead or what. Oh yes, that's great, because that's not who I
don't.
Debbie is. No, 100%. And
I trust nobody.
And do you feel like you had those bosses though that maybe anticipate or expect some level of, I don't want to say adoration or whatever, but some level of, hey, I'm your boss. And
they all do. Yeah, they all do. But I'm old enough and been around or been on Earth long enough that I trust nobody. I don't care how nice they are, because if it comes down to me and that person, they would definitely throw me under the bus. And I have no interest in having their job because there's too much politics in it. You got to kiss somebody's ass. You got to, you scratch this guy's back and maybe they'll scratch your back later. Yeah, I want nothing.
Quid pro quo? Isn't that sexual harassment?
It can be.
Okay.
No, you're absolutely right. And there's, I think norms versus rules versus laws are so they move. They're dynamic, I think, to a point. But speaking to what you're saying, there's nothing within the realm of me ever. I just couldn't imagine, okay, yes, boss, while gritting my teeth. And I think that's exactly what you're saying. If you have to do that, maybe you're not maybe you got the wrong boss, or you're not in the right spot. Would you consider, oh my goodness.
I guess I've never been in the right spot.
Would you consider right now being in so like for Revan, like how did he know like he was in the right spot with those folks and with the team around him? And how do you know, right? Because would he have been successful in the Mandalorian Wars with a different group of Jedi around? No. Would he, the Dark Jedi or the Jedi that came over during the Civil War? No, he wouldn't have been successful. All those folks are successful or help him be successful. Now, that was a lot. I think about though the coup that can occur in our orgs, because to your point, Debbie, I'm not going to kiss nobody's ass. Well, neither am I. And if none of us are, and we have a boss that is expecting that, what happens? Does everyone just finally break, or does that boss leave, or do individuals say F you and leave? And
I've done the latter, where I said, something happened at work and I had enough because somebody was getting away with stuff, and yet I was the one getting in trouble and getting blamed for it, and I had nothing to do with it. So when they called me into the office and they wanted me to sign the little form saying that, I agree, blah, 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 I just like, what? F you. I'm not signing anything. I walked out of the office, drove back to the office that I was working in, and gathered all my stuff, sent a little email saying, as of today, I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
And then they were on the phone calling, well, we didn't want you to quit, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, you know what? You value the asshole employee more than you value the person who's here every freaking day and doing more, going above and beyond what is required of her job. But yet I get treated like shit, and you're elevating the crap ass employee. So I quit.
I need to know how recent this was. You're very passionate about this, Debbie.
3 years ago.
Oh,
remind me never to piss off Debbie.
Yeah, I could have told you that.
Oh, you? No, you're absolutely right. Like those, like you can't expect me to be invested in what your vision is if you're going to treat me like garbage, and expect. And yeah, what was this?
Malik.
Oh yeah. Well, in his arc, Malik's arc, Malik comes back around. Great point, Agua. Malik comes back around and he has a moment, and yeah, man. We got Shield Maiden here. I had that happen. Said I wanted the director. that is a Karen move, and I love it. But that's a.
You know what though? Here's the thing: is because I've been listening to a lot of "Am I the Jerk" podcast on everywhere, just because I can turn it on and listen. Those people are nuts, and they deal with a lot of crap, and they're looking at it going, "Oh well, cue my malicious compliance," and I stayed with the company for 3 more years maliciously complying, so I could make my boss look like an idiot. And I'm like, for 3 years? Are you crazy?
You know how much self-improvement you could do in 3 years?
3 weeks. 3 weeks, that would have limit.
I have some TikToks where I talk about power and allowing people and things to have power over you. And that if you let someone have power over you to keep you in a job for 3 years, woo, you got bigger problems than that boss. Just saying. I'm sorry, David. You weren't saying that was about you, man, right?
No.
We can talk after the show. I am a certified leadership coach. We can talk.
No, my big one was I worked at a taco place here in Texas, and this was 20 some odd years ago, but I was a shift manager, and one of my duties was to, when the drawers got too full, you do a pull on the drawer, you pull out excess cash and drop it in the safe. Well, one of our assistant managers was there, and I did a drop. I was working on the drive-through, and I did a drop, and I dropped it, and she comes over, and she opens up my drawer, and she goes, "Where's all the money?" I said, "I did a drop. It's in the safe." "Don't you ever do that without letting me know." She said, that is, I'm the one in charge here. I do it. And I was like, but that's one of my duties. That's what you're paying me to do. That's one of the things you're paying me to do. "No, don't you ever touch that money in there unless you're taking it from a customer." And I said, "You know what? Here's my keys. I'll see you later." And I walked. I walked that night.
Jeez.
I was like, "You're not going to yell at me like that. I'm sorry." So, but again, that was, 20 plus years ago.
Bosses will make you leave in a heartbeat, man. And I think for Revan, it wasn't just his charisma that made people follow him. It was his lead by example. It was all the things we always talk about on these shows, right? That he encapsulated what it meant to be a badass leader. Yes, he had some shortcomings. They all do. When it comes to not just having the charisma, but the actions to back it up. I keep going back to the Mandalorian Wars, and whenever he took on Mandalore, rallying everyone in the Jedi Civil War, he just was a very charismatic leader that stood behind what he said, and if necessary, would drive in by himself. And I know that we could look back on our own professional and have that one professional lives and have that one, at least one leader. I really only have like 2 that I feel like would be Revan-esque. That would be like, let's go, not you go, but that let's go do this leader. Anyone want to share about a let's go leader? I mean, I know saying you could say your father's such a great.
Yeah, I was gonna say didn't want to clog up the channel.
Woo. Yeah, hold my boots.
Are you saying we should get our boots on?
Because getting a little deep.
Yeah. He's like, I can. I told you I'd never lie, Dad. And so I'm not gonna.
My father taught me never to lie, so I shan't.
Oh my goodness.
So when I was reading, because I don't play, and so I had to read up on Revan a little bit. But he reminded me so much of Sidious. Because, Palpatine, he was the charismatic senator from Naboo. He stepped up to save the day, blah, blah, blah. And then, he's a Sith Lord.
And when the time is right, he lifted the hood and removed the veil and
built relationships and rapport above just manipulation.
He built influence.
Thank you, son. God dang it.
I remember that.
Boy.
Well, Revan did that too. And I'm probably speaking out of, I don't know where in the timeline that happens, but he manipulated people in order to get the right person in power. Wherever that was, I didn't see where. There's not a real good. I couldn't find real good information. It's like I had to go to like 4, 5, 6, 7 different places, and depending if you played the game, of course the game you get to make choices, but then the book, it goes a totally different route, and then I'm just like
in multiple mediums though, because even part of his story is on what Star Wars: The Old Republic, that MMO game. Yeah. It's from when he gets out of the prison to when he dies.
Yep, and that's when you run into the Revanites and all of that within the game too. That's a whole nother. Yeah,
with his Force ghosts and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was very confusing. I was like, I'm never going to make sense on this show.
I looked up a thing on YouTube to where it was like the complete Revan story, because I was just like, okay, I'm just going to go listen to this on my drive home, and the first one I clicked on, because I'm driving, I'm just like, oh yeah, there's one. And he kept going and going and going. And I'm like, what in the world? And I looked down, 8 hours he was talking about this. I'm like, whoa, I don't have that kind of time. Find me one that's like 45 minutes. I'll be fine. Give me the Reader's Digest version. I don't want the novel.
He must have been going behind the scenes stuff, or whatever.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of lore there.
So that's a great segue. Thank you, Darth Zane David. So we're moving into Korriban Korner. I was trying to do voiceovers on those, and I was going Korriban Korner, Korriban Korner, Korriban Korner, and I was like, you know what? I'm not a voice actor. I'm just going to leave it blank.
Do it.
Zach, do it. I don't even remember what this was. What our Korriban Korner was, but what I wanted to get into was talking about the whole. Why hasn't Disney said we are going to do live action Revan? And my theory, and I'm going to preemptively fill your heads with garbage, is that they're deathly afraid of effing it up.
You know what?
Nobody would be happy. You'd have people who would love it, and then you would have people who would hate it. Well, kind of like it is now. So
and we've mentioned this on our show before, to where you could take if Disney had said, okay, we're going to make sequels and we're going to do the Heir to the Empire trilogy. We're going to do the Thrawn trilogy. We're just going to go with that because it's already written and people love it. And you could go word for word, action for action in a script, and people would still be pissed off because, oh, well, you left. Oh, that's not the way I saw it in my mind's eye. So that's not the way. This was supposed to be a mountain covered in snow, and you've got just a mountain. It doesn't have any snow on it. What's wrong with you?
And you left out when he went to go eat dinner or something.
Yeah.
Whatever,
He came out of the toilet then. What are you doing? Yeah.
He didn't use wouldn't. He said would not.
Yeah.
He said,
yeah, exactly.
He had no contractions in his speech. What is wrong with you?
So yes, it doesn't matter. I can. I'm going to add to your theory. Yes, one, they're totally scared of screwing it up, but two, Keanu Reeves isn't done filming the John Wick movies, and he wants to be completely open for that. So they haven't got Keanu on board yet. So.
Do you think he wants to? Has he?
I don't know, but he's
killing
perfect.
me, David.
He's perfect for it. He needs.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, the only movie I know he wants to come back to is Constantine, which I'm all for.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it.
It's all right.
I know, right? I know. Well, and Keanu Reeves, I just can't imagine anyone being like everything that we know from the games. Like he's perfect.
It was
and that could be dangerous too, right? Is that the perfection in you're the guy, and then what are those expectations? That's got to be tough too for any actor.
It's almost like and back in the late 90s when they announced, hey, we're making an X-Men movie, there was such a roar of, you have got to get Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart has got to play Professor X. There is no one else on Earth that could play Professor X other than Patrick. Well, and Star Trek was huge at the time. Next Generation was huge. It was on the air. Everybody was in love with it. And it was like, yeah, he's the perfect choice. You had the X-Men cartoon show, and him and Patrick Stewart were like, they could have been twins, and it was like, of course, yes, Patrick's. And when they finally came out and said, hey, guess what, Patrick Stewart, and everybody was like, woo!
Yay, Patrick Stewart.
So I think the same thing is going with Keanu and Revan there. So
yeah. If you look at Thrawn, though, I mean, as much as Benedict Cumberbatch lookalike might have been really good, Mickelson, okay, sure, but Mickelson was perfect. He had the voice, he had the attitude, he just was Thrawn.
He was.
I mean, I was reading up on an article by the guy who does the Audible like readings for the Thrawn books, and even he has talked to Mickelson and Zahn about how he's supposed to use all these elections.
Well, my initial fan.
I mean, in that case, they literally.
I'm not mad about
they had an actor that was perfect.
But in my mind's eye, because of a lot of the book covers, and we're talking the original book covers and some other stuff, Jason Isaacs. Those book covers look like Jason Isaacs.
Yeah. And
so that I was like, that's who needs to play it. Am I upset Mickelson is doing it? No.
Because Mickelson was Thrawn in Rebels.
I was about to say, I find myself half closing my eyes when he starts talking. Like I'm closing my eyes, imagining Rebels Thrawn 100%.
I don't even have to imagine it. It's almost like they kind of meld and congeal into the same thing, and it's just like it's glorious. It's that was my opinion. That was the 100% perfect casting. They, as far as if Rebels being what it is, it was like we've got Rebels as it is. Fine, we need Mickelson back to do Thrawn, to do the, And then I heard a lot of people, oh well, he looks so old, and it's like, well, it's been a long time.
I mean, I think in Ahsoka he's like in his 70s or something.
Yeah, it's been like 20. I think we pegged it around 20 years.
Do we even know how long Chiss live?
They don't live that long. He's coming to the end.
Yeah, I mean, I thought
they talk about it in the Chiss Ascendancy books. They should.
Yeah. I loved it. I thought he was a good cast. I think, I could have seen something different, but he is Thrawn, I guess. For a lot of folks, he is Thrawn.
Yeah.
So I get that. Not your daddy's Thrawn, but if you think about Thrawn,
it was a Thrawn we grew up with.
That's right. You think about Revan, and you think about the longevity of that story. Do you believe it still holds? Like, do you think they'd have to change anything in the story the way it was written that it wouldn't hold today?
No, I think it's fine the way it is, and that's mainly because it happens before the Star Wars as we know it. It happened so far back in the past. Again, it would probably be very well received, thinking, well, this is new Star Wars. This is something new that it's not new, but this is something we've never seen before. It doesn't have to do with the Skywalkers and anything like that. So.
People have been begging for this for a year. I have been begging for it for years, because I love the Bane book series. Mm-hmm. And I read the Revan books too. And so it's just like, they keep talking, well, we want to get away from the Skywalker saga. Well, okay, go back 4,000 years.
Yep.
I mean, they kind of went back and, they're doing High Republic, but it's Jedi. I want Sith stuff. I want dirty, gritty,
that's right,
gory, badassery Sith stuff.
That's right. Yeah, and going back that far, I think if you're about ready to turn over another generation of potential Star Wars lovers, then you need to come up with something that's going to be their own. Just like for every other subsequent, they had their own group of 3 movies. So why not go back and tie it all together to show that Palpatine wouldn't have even been able to do what he did had it not been for Darth Revan, which led to, et cetera, Darth Bane, which led to. So I think you're exactly right. Not only have fans been clamoring for it, it can happen. I know that Disney's afraid, but I think they can do it. Maybe you focus more on like Shatil Shan and that where Revan just is not as. He's off doing this over here, right? And then we just see Revan for a minute in a scene or two. Then you don't maybe. I don't know. You see what
Shatil is like 300 years after him.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're gonna kind of do the back.
Malgus being the villain. They're still continuing the story on SWTOR. Like they've been releasing DLC.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if they're going to do Old Republic, as much as Revan is good, I think they should really do a story with Shatil, Darth Mar, maybe even do the Revan DLC for that game.
Yeah.
Where you can bring in the history.
My thoughts, it was more of you would do like, I don't want to say flashbacks, but you're going to bring him in for like scenes, like, and just show this is what happened. These are things that occurred that is causing what, like I said, the Shatil Shan era was. You said 300 years. I don't know what that exact time was between Revan and them.
It was around 300.
So the Acolyte, what's the time frame on that? Doesn't that it takes place sometime before?
Yeah, I was about to go look up my article that I've had written for about 3 months that
I believe that's going to take place before the Skywalker saga.
Yep. That might be High Republic.
End of the High Republic era.
End of the High Republic.
That's right. It starts at the very end of the High Republic. So
there you go.
Vegas.
What's that? 200 years before Skywalker?
I thought it was. Oh yeah. I think High Republic was 200. I want to say 200 before, because Yoda is around, but he's not.
500 BBY to 100 BBY.
There you go.
So 100 years before.
Yeah, it ends. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think they need to go way back and just, let's see a lot of stories on the Sith. I mean, we got Darth
I want to see
Vader,
Mandalore the Great. I want to see the Mythosaur.
And not just a little tiny glimpse of a Mythosaur.
Not just his eyeball.
Man, I got one more thing to go over, or do I? Oh, so we didn't talk about Revan and his issues with the council. So the council, in many aspects, we brought up a lot, and I want to get your kind of closing thoughts on their role. So there's a point within the arc where he is essentially brainwashed. I mean, you can tell me I'm crazy, but they brainwashed him because they were afraid of him. And again, without preloading your thoughts, I mean, this is the same stuff I talk about. The Jedi are just, they're not who we think they are, man.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Well, am I wrong? I mean, you didn't have to say it so whiny like Anakin, but am I wrong?
He sounded good.
I'm not
but
wrong.
I mean, they I'm trying to read because I left my notes at work, of course, but I was thinking somewhere in my notes that the council, much like with Anakin, they kind of failed Revan, and I think this was even before he turned. I think as a Jedi, and I don't remember what the reasoning was, but there was conflict there, and I was like, well, geez, this sounds like Anakin all over again. So, yeah, the council. I don't know what the hell their problem is.
And I appreciate, like, okay, we're not just going to have one or two people, making a decision on things. But it seemed that we all hear groupthink in business. Like, it can be helpful at times, but most of the time it's terrible. And that's 100% what has happened in every instance that we've been shown where the Republic gets in the way of itself by way of the Jedi doing some stupid stuff, thinking for the greater good. I know our don't want to get in trouble. Our own government does things, right? Every government thinks sometimes they're doing stuff for the betterment of, and it doesn't end up that way. And I think the worst part of that decision making is in the end not owning it, right? The council never owns their mistakes until it's too late, and you've got Yoda in exile. At that point, it's too late.
But you know what, though? And I wish Cam was here because I need him here, because Luke Skywalker changed all of that. And he went into The Last Jedi, and everybody was, oh, my Luke Skywalker wouldn't do that. And it was, Luke looked at it, and if you watch Luke, he says, and I in a moment of desperation, I drew my lightsaber, and all I saw was a scared kid. Mm-hmm. And so in that moment, he was thinking the greater good, greater needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. And sorry, I had to do a start.
Wrong fast.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Just dying over here.
But anyway,
it's okay.
But he stopped himself. He was like, I couldn't do it. It's who am I to make that call? Who am I to do that? And he even said so much to Rey. Even he was like, the council, they were so high and mighty that they let Darth Sidious and Darth Vader rise to power, and they didn't do anything about it. So, not my Luke Skywalker. Bullcrap. Luke knew what he was doing. Luke had said, "All right, we gotta stop the bleeding," as it were.
No, and we brought up, I think, 2 shows ago, we were talking about Kodak, and it's the exact same Kodak. No, like, they didn't make the shift, right? They didn't change. They didn't move their vision. They kept blindly going down this path, and ultimately to their own demise. And the story of Kodak, same thing, right? That dude went and did other great things. Well, you F around with Revan, and you found out that he went off and did great things, big, huge things without you. if you want to be in an org and that doesn't appreciate you or that treats you like that, apparently Debbie had a bad experience a few years ago, don't stick around, man. You know your value, know your worth, and get out of there. That's what Revan did. He knew what his vision was, and he wasn't going to reach it there with the council. So he went and did what he had to do. Can't wait to talk about his redemption arc next week. However,
it's almost like Balin's doing the same thing though too, to where he's like, yeah, the Jedi Council, they've got some good things going for them, but so do the Sith, and I'm kind of walking the line in between the two of them.
Yeah, he misses the idea of the Jedi, just not their weakness.
Mm-hmm. And not the meme that was posted earlier, guys.
I missed the meme.
Yeah, it was in one of our Star Wars memes. Balin misses the old order. And yeah, anyways. So yeah, everyone's going to be Googling that right now, or going to Facebook.
Everybody go to Facebook and look it up.
Look it up. Look up here. Look up.
There he goes.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you all for joining tonight. This was fun. Was a little nervous. The two guests I had commitments. This is what happens when you have some friends that are in theater. They just always have other things to do besides being with you. But thanks for joining tonight, Debbie and Darth Zane, David and Zane. I want us for episode 2, if you're up for it, I want to try to have you all, and I want to have like a 6-8 kind of group to yell and scream about Darth Revan was good, Darth Revan was bad. There is no good or bad. It's all a matter of point of view. So
from a certain point of view.
That's right. Anything we need to promote? I know we have tons to promote because we have 5 billion shows, and I don't ever know them all. And I'm glad Kat's not on anymore to yell at me for not knowing them all. But we've talked about a couple already this evening. No. Okay, Agua. Great pot. Oh, you too, Agua. Thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it. And maybe one day you'll let me play Overwatch again with you. So, maybe not. So next show we have tomorrow night. We have not
tomorrow. Thursday night.
Thursday we have Cantina Happy Hour. Yeah, I'll be going over Mando season 2. Friday.
Timothy Oliphant.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, such a good character, such a good actor, such a great episode.
I picked up the pop figure. What's his name? Cobb
Vanth.
Pop vinyl. And she's like, that's not Timothy Oliphant because it had the helmet on. It's like, what it is. I don't want that. What am I supposed to do with that? I don't know. What they do with the other one?
They never did make a Lego character for him.
Oh.
And I was very disappointed. And man, I went out and I bought a Boba Fett figure and I pulled the arms off and I put a neckerchief on it and then built the little pod engine that was his bike. I was like, I'll make me one. I made that on the show on Thursday. Say,
maybe if I post it, they'll call me and say, design this for me. I've had those dreams too, David. Yeah. I've had those dreams too. That's cool though. Can you not? Do you not have it right there? You can.
Give me a second. I'll get it. Give me a second.
Okay. Okay. Now he's gone. Are you for real? That might need an intervention. He's making his own Legos because they didn't make them. Oh my goodness. I mean, I love you, Dave, but whew. All right. But yeah,
he is a little Lego addiction.
and it's great. So Cobb Vanth. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Here he is. Right. I'm back. So, for crying out loud! Oh, I've got him holding. So here's the. Whoop! There he is.
Oh,
yeah, I even got the red neckerchief on him and everything.
That is awesome.
Now you just need to get a plain Lego head and just paint
and some hair. Yeah.
Then I did Timothy Oliphant on it.
Oh
the little pod engine. That was his. He had the speeder bike that was the pod engine from the Anakin pod. So
David,
awesome.
You are on this show. You do not have to watch it back and listen to what was said while you were gone, because I take it all back. That's pretty freaking cool.
Oh, I will. This is why I need to talk to Dave Gramillion. I need some headphones that are like Bluetooth, so when I walk away, I can just walk away with my headphones on. I can still hear what people are saying.
No one else has fun.
Gramillion, if you're watching, I want some Bluetooth headphones.
Oh, my cheeks. Okay, so next week we're gonna do Darth Revan Part 2. We're gonna talk more about that redemption arc piece. And we'll see what else we talk about. But yeah, we're trying to get everyone back. We're going to get hopefully even more. It'd be fun just to have a big old Revan party, man. Revan's just it's chock full of so much stuff. Oh, that was a lot. Oh my gosh. I think this might be the longest episode. I keep saying that every episode. We keep getting longer and longer, but I'll take it, man. It's so much fun.
That's all.
I love hanging with y'all, man. It's so fun. And Zane, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. You can get kicked off that team. They're going to take that jersey away.
Nah, they can't do it. I already paid for it.
I bought it. It's mine.
Good luck on your break legs on your gigs, and good luck on. I can't wait to see you. I'll see you. We'll have maybe some Pete Terry's burgers, baby.
Pete Terry's.
Yeah. On Saturday. Oh, and my daughter, she watches from time to time. She's getting married in 2 weeks. I'll be in Oklahoma for that. I can't wait. You'll be there too, won't you?
See you there.
I was going to say, so at least you'll see him in 2 weeks.
I'll at least see him in 2 weeks. But we'll we live like an hour away from each other. But then we'll meet each other in Oklahoma, say hi, and then we'll. Blended families. What are you going to do?
2 hours.
It's great. It's fun. All right. Debbie, thank you so much. Super fun. Darth Zane, David, thank you. And Zane,
thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Anytime you guys want, and again, we'll get the crew back. I didn't say Mondays is MCU Mondays. Saturdays is don't say it. No, I just said it earlier in the show. You have everything. It is the Geek Gauntlet on Saturdays. And then we got sabers and Captain's Logs or Captain's Log and
Captain's
Sabers.
Logs and lightsabers. Yeah.
And I don't know when that show is.
That's that
it comes out
once a month.
Like once a month?
Once a month, I think.
Yeah, sometimes.
And then War of the Stars.
War of the Stars.
These are now those two are podcasts. So those two are not like live shows like we're doing here. Those are like strictly podcasts.
And so is The Eyes of the Child?
No, I think The Eyes of the Child. I don't think it's a live. I think it's a pre-recorded.
It's a visual. It's a pre-recorded.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm mentioning those every time. Absolutely.
Hobby Hut. Hobby Hut's on Friday as well.
Hobby Hut and the Lego build stuff.
Well, it's Lego builds and miniature painting, and there's
all
2 or 3
together
of us doing kind of cool stuff with it. So
cool.
And then Cam,
Cam and Focus.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he plans on coming out every couple of weeks, every 2 weeks, because I think he was doing it like once a month or something like that. But I think he's wanting to step it up and do it every 2 weeks. So.
Speaking of Timothy Oliphant, he's doing a bit on. He's doing the Hitman movies, and so this was the first one I think had Timothy in it. So that's the one that's up right now. So
cool. Any articles or anything coming out? Anyone?
I've got one I need to do for. I was at Cowtown Comic-Con.
Yeah. How was that?
It was a lot of fun. One of a lot more of the of like local artists and guys just kind of starting up and getting their stuff going. I got this one, Orphan Bloodline. He's actually got a Kickstarter for issue 3. Really cool, good stuff. The characters in it you could easily transfer over to like tabletop role playing. So
awesome.
I'm going to try and get an interview with him soon.
Cool.
Orphanbloodline.com. Go check it out. It's good stuff.
Cool. Anxious Angie, if you are watching, we do need to sync up. I'd love to have you on the show. She had asked me to jump on her show over on TikTok. She had, I can't remember his name, but a former Lucas arts individual that has been co-hosting the last few weeks. I was like, oh my God, yes, let me on there. And then you guys come over here. She's great. We share content on TikTok, so follow her, Anxious Angie. Little promo for you too. Yeah, what a great show. Thank you all. And I guess we'll wrap it up. We'll do Revan Part 2 next week. And God, till then, remember, kids, peace is a lie. There is only passion. Okay, I'm going to try to exit this only once this time. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, wait, I got to hit end stream. I don't have to hit outro. I just hit end stream, right, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, just hit the end stream.
Peace is a lie. There's only passion. Oh, God, I hit it twice.
Yeah.